In order to be successful in FP&A, you must have good knowledge of systems and processes, fundamental knowledge of various finance subjects, and interpersonal skills to be able to partner diverse business stakeholders. Now, CA curriculum built solid foundation for me through academic subjects like accounting, financial reporting, costing, and so on. Besides, the articleship provided me the opportunity to build working knowledge, again around processes, systems, and people. I think the foundation was built there.
Hello everyone, my name is Jasleen Taluja and I welcome you all again to one-on-one session with Thought Leader by Seekho. So Seekho is a first microlearning based community wherein you can learn just about anything you want to in a minute. In short, it's a world where knowledge meets seekers. And today for our one-on-one session, we have Rohit Gupta with us, who has a decorated professional background and a very strong academic background as well. So let's hear from Rohit directly here. So Rohit, could you please introduce yourself to your audience so that they can know you better?
Sure, Jasleen, firstly, thank you so much for having me. I'm a chartered accountant with 9 years of professional experience. Worked with companies like ITC Limited in various finance profiles. Worked with Puma Energy in regional FP&A role, and currently I work with Diversity India as the regional FP&A head. So, qualification-wise, apart from CA, I'm a CFA Level 3 candidate, and I hold a diploma from ACCA UK in IFRS as well. And personally, I'm married to a journalist, and I have a pet kid.
All right, thank you Rohit for your crispy introduction. So without any further ado, let's just start with our first segment, which is a rapid fire round. So make sure that you're quick. So are you ready for that?
I'm excited.
All right. So the very first question is if you are asked to write a book that will be published nationally addressing the youth, what would you write for them?
I think this will be about managing life, not just one aspect of managing a job or a career or a profession, but managing life, which will include managing finances, emotional intelligence, handling situations, etc.
Oh wow. Okay, so what career advice would you have given to your younger self?
To not be impatient. I think certain things come only with age. As long as you are taking a thoughtful step, doing the right thing in the present and now, future will take care of itself.
Absolutely correct. Okay, so if you're asked to interview a famous personality in a corporate world, who would you choose and why?
Not a difficult choice. It has to be Ratan Tata. Not just for what Tata Group has achieved in the corporate realm, but I think his personality as a leader of people and also the kind of legacy that he has built over the years. So, very simple answer.
Most of the people want to interview Ratan Tata only in the corporate world. So yeah, all right. So the next is what was the toughest interview that you remember cracking in your career so far?
Uh, that'll be an interview in my present organization. I think I was much prepared on what the role of finance, FP&A, etc. would be reading the job description. But to my surprise, it was very limited. And the major focus was on identifying Rohit Gupta as a personality, as a person, as a leader. So since I cracked it, I think I did really well.
Amazing. Okay, so the last is the next big thing plan in a career ahead.
Okay. So if I do the role well, uh, I think in the next 3 to 4 years, I have a few options open in front of me. It could be the next role of a CFO. I could actually go into business. I do have interest in being a salesperson. Third, I could actually move geography, being in a multinational company. So quite a few things. I'm again following the advice that I gave to my younger self to go with the flow.
Amazing. So with this, we are done with the first segment, in which I've got to know some insights about you. So I will get to know more when I will ask you the main questions for this round. So let's start with that. So, how do you define the role of financial planning and analysis?
So, financial planning and analysis, or finance business partnering, or business finance essentially includes two aspects. One is finance, where you work with the finance sub teams to ensure complete, accurate, and timely accounting and reporting. Second is that you digest all the financial information to churn out the actionable insights. You help the management frame an outlook about the future and help them navigate it. So, this is the first aspect of finance. Second is business partnering, where you work closely with business heads, with functional heads like procurement, supply chain, manufacturing, understand their problems and challenges, and work on solving them. So, these two are the primary roles of FP&A.
Well, so that was a very crispy definition of financial planning and analysis. So now you have talked about the definition of it. Like, could you also tell us about the importance of financial planning and analysis role in the organization?
Sure, let's look at the kind of challenges that the leadership team faces on a day to day basis. Whether it is about strategy decisions like expanding to a new geography, reviewing the product's portfolio, pivoting the business models, or reviewing the manufacturing distribution footprint. That's one on strategy. Second, on execution, like identifying focus for each business for the next month, the next quarter, the next year, and making sure that the work gets done. So that's the niche FP&A team operates in leading and steering such cross-functional initiatives. You're always on your toes, but it's real fun.
Oh, wow. All right. So the next is like, how is this role different from other finance roles?
Okay, so the work we do in finance can be broadly classified as either transactional, where you have given processes and known outcomes like making vendor payments, recording customer receipts, etc. Second part is unstructured with undefined processes and unknown outcome. Again, working on strategy, generating actionable insights on monthly business performance. And as they say, the higher in the hierarchy you work, the more complex and unstructured the work gets. So the FP&A role involves handling the largest share of such unstructured problems, dealing with complexity compared to the other finance roles.
Okay. All right. So this is the whole difference between with the other finance one. Got it. Okay. So the next is it's like very often like FP&A roles are considered as a data analyst role, right? So is it just that, or it has a wider scope?
So as a junior person in the FP&A function, I can understand that sometimes you may feel you are mostly engaged in data analysis. But since the teams do review a lot of data and generate a lot of reports, but given the unique position that you are in, the comprehensive view of the business, handling the entire P&L, and you get a huge amount of volumes of data to deal with. So one really, in a matter of time, starts speaking with the numbers and graduates to handling complex problems and partnering senior business leaders. So in the beginning, yes, it may feel so, but it is only the training or the preparation period where you can graduate, in a matter of time to handling such issues.
Alright, so basically just in the initial period, people would feel like as if they are doing a data analysis job, but later on, it's not about that. It's just
Absolutely.
that they're all right.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question is like, what knowledge or technical skills you learned in your CA which help you in this role?
Okay. So in order to be successful in FP&A, you must have good knowledge of systems and processes, fundamental knowledge of various finance subjects, and interpersonal skills to be able to partner diverse business stakeholders. Now, CA curriculum built solid foundation for me through academic subjects like accounting, financial reporting, costing, and so on. Besides, the articleship provided me the opportunity to build working knowledge, again, around processes, systems, and people. So I think the foundation was built there.
All right. Okay. So the next is like, what is the natural career progression or pathing for this role?
Okay, so there are two ways that you can progress in FP&A. One is that you join through an entry-level position directly in this function. However, in order to reach senior FP&A positions, it is quite advisable to have experience of having worked in commercial finance and controlling roles. That's where you build the knowledge and understanding of the entire business, which then helps you develop insights as an FP&A leader.
Okay. All right. So Rohit, like you have like worked with various organizations. So does this role cut like across industries, or it is just industry specific?
So in my view, FP&A role is industry agnostic. One does need to have the know-how of a particular industry, but this can very well be acquired in a matter of time. Otherwise, the key tenets of ensuring integrity of numbers being reported, solving problems for the business teams, and helping management identify and navigate the uncertain future remains absolutely the same.
Okay, so according to you, you say it's a industry specific. Cool. All right. Okay, so the next is like, is knowledge of accounting necessary for this role?
Okay, so let's say you're presenting monthly performance report to the senior management. The business head tells you that the numbers don't look right. And of course, your review did not go well. And later you identified wrong accounting entries like miss out certain expenses, capital items getting charged to P&L, wrong cost apportionment ratios being used, unexplained debits. So what do? So in a nutshell, you cannot do a good work in FP&A unless you have sound accounting knowledge and can ensure the sanctity of the numbers. So it is definitely necessary to know the accounting part.
Okay. All right. So also like, is the scope of FPA wider in the service industry or in manufacturing?
I would say anytime it is much wider in the manufacturing industry because there are numerous SKUs, multiple factory locations, inventory management, distributor, retailer management. All this adds a lot of complexity and hence offer a wider canvas for the finance team to partner on and add value.
Okay, all right. So with this, like we have exhausted so many questions. So I have just come to a last question. So any advice you want to give to the young professional who like wants to come into this industry? So what advice would you like to give to them?
Okay, so my advice to people who would want to work in FP&A is to spend more and more time in understanding the business, in understanding what is the business model, what are the processes and systems, where the challenges are, and also have a thorough knowledge on the entire financial bit. You are the key messenger for the leadership team. You are the orchestra, and you work with all the sub functions of finance. So very important that you build thorough knowledge. It takes time. It takes a lot of partnering with the business, with all your team members. So in nutshell, I would say when you are in FP&A, spend more time with people than with spreadsheets.
Okay, that was a good advice. Alright, so with this, like we are done with all the questions. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too, Rohit.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, so I must say that all your answers like were really crisp and informative, and I'm sure like whosoever will be listening to this session will learn immensely. So yeah, and also like thank you like for answering these questions like with such perfection and taking out time from your busy schedule and participating in this one-on-one session with thought leaders by Seco. So thank you so much, Rohit.
My pleasure. Thank you.